Hi, my name is Meg Edwards, and I'm a GTD coach. And today I wanted to talk about Chapter 9, which is the chapter on engaging, on prioritization. And the reason why I wanted to start with that today is that when I am doing inquiry calls for people that are exploring GTD coaching, one of the things that I constantly hear is the challenges that they have with prioritization. And they kind of want to jump, like almost in the first call, to how do I prioritize? And I'm like, yeah, but that's what chapters 5, 6, 7, 8 is there to help you with, which is, are you fully captured? Have you fully clarified and organized your work so that you can review it, so that you can engage into your trusted external, system to be able to prioritize? Now, in the last video, I talked about chapter 13 and Ready for Anything, about David talking about the big secret about my list is some of the best projects I've done were never on them. And he's like, what have I duped you into believing, that that's the way to get all stuff done? Because I think that what is really interesting about this whole getting things done methodology is that, David really laid out the whole game of a knowledge worker and the best practices. But what I want to do is pull out some of these main ideas that I think will help you no matter where you are in your GTD practice, whether you're still working on installing it or you're implementing it or integrating, wherever you are. And today I just want to talk about one little fabulous nugget that I think that if any of you have been watching our YouTube videos or anything that we've put out over these last couple of decades is the concept of the threefold nature of work. So what is that? Well, that's embedded on page 210 of the Getting Things Done book. And the reason why I like to start there is that one of the things that I find when I'm starting with people is show me your calendar. What does your calendar look like? Are you jammed packed? Are you back-to-back meetings? Or do you actually have space in your calendar? Because if you have space in your calendar throughout the day, you're in really great shape because now you have time for the threefold nature of work, which is one, is that you have time to do predefined work, going to your lists and deciding what you want to do. Do you want to make that phone call? Do you want to send that email? Do you want to draft that proposal? Whatever you're going to do, that's doing predefined work. You already defined it and you have space for that. And how much time during the day or the week do you want to spend time doing predefined work? The second concept of the threefold nature of work is work as it shows up, unplanned. We call them interruptions, but it's really unplanned work. And a lot of times that's part of your job is to be available for that unplanned. Do you have space in your calendar for that? I get anywhere from 1 to 2 hours a day of unplanned, and I want to have space for that. I don't have a job where I have the ability of rescheduling people. I'm not going to call a client and say, I'm so sorry, something showed up. I have to reschedule my call today. But I do find that that's what happens with people is they just reschedule meetings. They bump people because they didn't have space for the work as it appears. And people, generally speaking, have been in their job long enough to know how much time they need a week when you kind of look at the span of the week of how much unplanned, shows up. And sometimes there's really unplanned. I had a client that they had a cybersecurity breach, and boy, that was really unplanned. But then there's kind of the other kind of unplanned where you kind of know that a direct report might need you, or your kid, or your spouse, or a friend, or a family member on the personal side, or something shows up at work. So we all have unplanned. And that's what I love about the Getting Things Done methodology is David accounts for the unplanned. And that's why you don't want to spend all this time over scheduling because the stuff's going to come, but you just don't know when. The third part of the threefold nature of work is having time to clarify and organize your work. You know me, got my little clarifying and organizing map that I'm always pulling out. How much time a day do you need to clarify and organize? Chapter 5 is talking about mind sweeping all your stuff. Chapter 6 is clarifying. Chapter 7 is organizing. Chapter 8 is the weekly review. And then again, chapter 9 is, okay, now how do you put that all together and prioritize? So if you look at the course of your week, where's your space? And we're going to attach an article that David wrote about the threefold nature of work. Because if you don't have that space, boy, it's really more challenging to do the other parts of GTD because you don't have time to clarify and organize. You don't have time to do the work. So it just kind of keeps building up. You don't have time to do the weekly review. So try to work on getting that space in your calendar. And you get to decide how much time you need for the threefold nature of work. And it doesn't have to be daily. Maybe you're out for an all-day meeting. And so, the next day you might need to have even that much more space. Or maybe you're out for a couple of days, and then you need to have that much more space on the other end to be able to get caught up on clarifying and organizing, to get caught up on some of your next actions that you need to do to move things forward. So this beautiful gem of the threefold nature of work that's embedded on page 210 of the Getting Things Done book, the 2015 edition, is something that I think that you really want to hold on to, because mostly if you can get control over that, things will just start falling more into place to have that space. And David's always talking about where's your space. I'm always talking about where's your space. Another little tidbit, if you can give yourself a real win, is to be able to try not to do back to back. Can that meeting be, 50 minutes or 55 minutes, or instead of a half-hour meeting, can it be 25 minutes? You can start getting space in little ways as well. It's amazing what you can do. That's where the 2-minute rule can come in, when you can get that little space in there to move something forward. So I just today wanted to talk about the threefold nature of work. If you have the audio version, you can go and listen to that. If you have the book, go read that part again. Over the course of these weekly little gems that I'm pulling out of the book, you can really kind of think about that threefold nature of work for this week. So love to hear any comments, any questions that you have. Always love to hear from all of you. Thanks so much. For more GTD resources, please visit gettingthingsdone.com and David Allen's YouTube channel. For more information on GTD coaching, please email us at info@gtdfocus.com or visit our website at gtdfocus.com.